everyone, William here. I just had another great conversation with another guest. Would you like to come in and listen in on the conversation we had? By the way, feel free to share it with anyone you feel may find it of interest. Come on, let's go listen in now.
Ryan, welcome to my studio.
Pleasure to be here, Bill.
Thanks for reaching out and coming in and having a conversation with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Showing up. I understand that you work for Bob Asadorian, and you're recently been promoted to the manager of all the duties.
Yeah, official title, General Operations Manager.
Oh, very good. So what prompted the promotion?
Well, as you know, Bob's going into he's running for campaigning for councillor in Ward 3. So he needed somebody that was responsible enough and reliable enough, and that could take on all the operations of RRR, from meeting with customers, estimating jobs, running the actual jobs itself. So I've been with Bob for quite a few years now, and he's groomed me to be his clone, as he likes to put it. And so it's been a great ride so far, and I thought, you know what, this is a great opportunity for me. I'm getting handed a company that has already such a good reputation, and the opportunity that doesn't come along very often. So I thought, you know what, this is perfect, and we work really well together. Our communication level is phenomenal. So in that sense, it was just a no-brainer.
Yeah. So you must have a tremendous level of respect for you.
Yes. Yeah.
And what you're capable of.
Yeah.
So what prompted you to get into the renovation?
Well, what prompted me was I grew up in a single home. My mom was a single mom from when I was about 10 years old. So she was always busy working, winning the bread for the house, and I was left at home with my brother to man the house and to take care of everything that needed to be taken care of. So I took on little projects that she needed me to do at home, painting and fixing cabinets, and IKEA for putting together IKEA furniture. Anything and everything was up to me to do. So that sort of got me involved in the trades aspect and sort of being handy. And from there I took shop class in school. And then when I was about 18, I took on a landscape job. Now the thing is I had never really wanted to be in renovations or in any sort of trades. I had always looked to aspire to be. My mom was a businesswoman, and she was very successful, and that was sort of what I had aspired to be, was to be a business person as well. But the thing was I was so good with my hands, and I was so good I had a really good work ethic, and people took notice in that. And so I got jobs really easily in trades, and it just came to me very easily. And so I did landscaping for a couple years, I did painting for a couple years, and I got into renovations full blown. And then I met Bobby in around 2010, and he had hired me on for a few jobs here and there that he needed an extra hand on. He didn't have space for another employee because he already had a full crew. So about 6 months, a year later, he I guess let go of a few guys, and him and I had about 10, 15 meetings at his house, and he wanted very thorough. He wanted to make sure that I was the right fit for the company, because he'd gone through so many guys, because unreliable, a lot of older guys he would hire that just wouldn't take to new ways of doing things. Like that saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, in that case, you couldn't teach an old dog new tricks. So he wanted somebody that was a fresh sponge, that would absorb all he had to offer and all his information and how to deal with customers and all that. So I was that perfect fit. And since then, it's been smooth sailing, and it's been a great ride so far. Yeah.
Very good. So knowing Bob and knowing how he's dedicated you, having licensed contractors. Are you a licensed contractor?
Yes, I am. I got my Hamilton City Master Building Repair license. Yeah.
Right. So I wouldn't imagine that he would even have anybody on his crew that wasn't.
No, he always promote, like, he wants to have everybody on staff that is licensed, and all police checks for everybody. So there's nobody. We're very safe about who we hire, and we promote that to the customers that, look, this is our employees. This is who's going to be in your home day to day. And it's very important that that the person doesn't have a criminal record or doesn't have this. Not that I'm saying people with criminal records shouldn't get jobs. Not that I'm saying that at all. But it's a nice comfort for customers to have that, that they are a trustworthy person.
Yeah, I know that Bob's a real proponent for single mothers, older people being taken advantage of in the city when it comes to contractors and whatnot. And pre-recording, we
Right.
had a conversation, and you're an advocate of the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally pro bad contractor. We definitely advocate for that, and we want the public to know and be aware and educated, because that's a big problem where a lot of people don't know how the hiring process and how it should be dealt with, and they don't know that, you know, I should call the BBB and find out what their rating is. I should call the city, find out if they do have a license. Those are all very important steps into hiring who's going to be working in your home. I mean, your home's a big investment to have just any Joe Blow working on it. You don't want things going wrong, and sort of having that background check is very important. And so what we do is we promote going through all the right motions and those right steps into hiring somebody that's going to be working on your home.
So how do you add value? I know that real legitimate contractors charge a little bit more, and there has to be added value to that. So how would you explain the value that gets added versus someone who's working out of their garage versus someone who has a crew and trucks?
Yeah, so what we do, we work with the media a lot in order to, it's our platform, sort of, it's our foundation onto what we want Triple R to be. We want people to know that Triple R isn't the same as everybody else. So using the media as our platform to do that is very important to us, and the difference between us and them is we have all the licensing, we have all the insurance, we have the WSIB, we have everything necessary to be a legitimate business, and we have good workers, which is important as well. People that we can trust, we can rely on, that will be there day to day. Another thing is our pricing. Our pricing is different than everybody else's. So it may seem more, which it is, well, it is more, than your average unlicensed guy who's just working out of the back of a van or the back of, I've seen guys on bicycles that carry little trailers with them. I've seen that. So we are different than them in their pricing, but what you're getting is you're getting peace of mind, you're getting insurance, you're getting a warranty, you're getting all the necessary things for you to sleep good at night and to know that the job was done properly. And you don't have to worry that, you know, in a few months or a week that anything's going to fall apart. You know what I mean? So that's what differentiates Triple R from everybody else, is the legitimacy of our company.
Yeah, I know when I spoke with Bob, he almost interviews the client. He brings in a whole portfolio and shows them the work that he's done, all his licensing. And so you have your own portfolio as well. So when you go in, you show them all the stuff that you've been involved in and whatnot.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we're the only company that probably does that in the whole city, that has a portfolio like that. And it's impressive and it's not only impressive, it's something to be proud of, the achievements that Triple R has acquired and done, because not a lot of other businesses can say or do that. And yeah, that's the difference between us and them.
Yeah, I know people have expressed concern sometimes about having roofing projects done or whatever the case may be, patching, repairs. Someone can say they did something, and I mean, it's 3 stories high, no one's going to go up and validate the work, but taking pictures often, and I know Bob has expressed he's done those kind of things as well.
We
customers, they don't have to climb up a ladder.
Exactly, we take pictures, and if requested, we offer progression pictures. So during the day, if you're at work or whatever, and you have your smartphone handy, and you have, or whatever portable device or any sort of technology you have, that we can send pictures to you throughout the day, we do that as well. We take progress pictures of the job throughout the day, so you kind of know what's going on. You know, work's being done. You're not going to get home and it's going to be the same stage as it was yesterday, right? And so that constant communication is very important between us and the customer.
Yeah. Well, we know where Triple R is as a company right now.
Right.
Where do you hope to take Triple R?
Well, I got a lot of visions for Triple R, and it helps that Bob's given me the creative freedom to do so. That to me is very important. He didn't just hand it over and say, keep it this way, because Bob's always talking about how fresh minds young minds have fresh ideas, and if you have an idea, run with it. So I definitely would love to see Triple R right now as just a residential company primarily, and I would love to see it grow into multiple trucks, into commercial. I'd like to get into commercial work as well, and I'd also like to get into a lot more charity work. Right now we're trying to work with an elderly person who is blind and was taken for a ride by a previous contractor. We've worked with him for a couple years now, doing work in his home, correcting things that were done illegally and completely wrong, where a gentleman had done some tuck pointing on his house. It's brickwork, taking out the mortar and filling the mortar joints. He had told him that, and this is where I couldn't believe, he had told him that I tried to keep it as original looking as possible. Well, you can't keep mortar looking original when it's new mortar going in. So he just fooled him, and I guess he told him that so that if anybody said anything, he would relay that message to that person, because he couldn't see. He couldn't see the job that was done. So he told him he did this job and got paid for it and did nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's the society we live in. That's sad. So I'm trying to work with him to now he currently has, I think, a rodent infestation in his house, and we're trying to get sponsors and people to the community to get together and sort of help him out with getting a new way of doing things in his home and getting it cleaned up, because it's not the ideal living conditions he's in.
Right.
And it's just very sad. I think he's in his 70s or 80s, and yeah, so we're working with that, and we want to do more of that. Triple R wants to do more of some more charity work throughout the city and help as much as we can.
Yeah, very good. Name a couple of things that Bob's been in the business for a while, and he's a very charismatic character.
Yes.
What kind of things have Bob taught you that kind of stick with you, that would stand out?
Probably the main thing would be his perseverance and his ability to not give up. It's one thing to hear people say, don't give up, follow your dreams, but it's another thing to see it in action. And with Bob, I've physically, side by side, working with him. I see him day to day deal with situations where he's not giving up and he's pushing to get whatever it is he's trying to get. And it's very refreshing to see that, it's not just what people tell you in school or what they, throughout life, don't give up, don't give up. It's nice to see it happen, and it motivates you and it pushes you to do the same. And that's sort of given me a lot of inspiration and a lot of courage to, push forward with things in life as well.
Yeah, good.
So,
what do you think that you've taught Bob?
What I've taught Bob to calm down.
Really?
To chill out, yeah. To not be so wired. And I've taken a lot of stress off his table with being able to, with him having somebody in Triple R that can take care of the day-to-day operations. I know that's a very stressful thing, and I'm starting to feel the weight of it coming into it now. And so I know that I've taken that off his table, and that's helped him a lot, being able to focus now on other things.
So you've adopted the passion as a clone, but you've used a little calming force to maintain it?
That's it, exactly.
Yeah, very good. Keeping centered, and I know you're a pretty centered young man.
Yes.
Through some of the dialogues that we've had.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. But so how do we contact someone? I see that you've got a Triple R
yeah, I do.
t-shirt on, and I thought...
Here's my badge back here. So if
very good.
Camera can see that.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that I put up a link at the end of it all.
Just look for the blue shirt.
And I'll put a link to all that information as well.
Great.
So, Brian, it's been a real pleasure getting to know you.
Thank you very much, Bill.
I look forward to talking to you again.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Join us. Catch the bug.